and I don't mean them to sound so negative, because sometimes scars can be positive. What do you notice?
I'm like the old trout in the stream, you know, that no one's ever been able to catch, but they get him up to the side of the boat every once in a while, and he's just all scarred up. He's back in the water.
What are the emotional scars?
Wow.
Man.
That hurt.
It hurt me.
I didn't mean to do that. The emotional scars, I don't know. I used to go, like, I'd walk in the street and I'd see a homeless person, and I for some reason, would look at him and hope, you know, that he didn't look at me, because he would recognize something in me that was just exactly like him and was headed in that direction. A feeling of doom.
Your parents encouraged you, as you said, your mom and your dad, and they never, though, got to see your success.
My father did.
How much of it?
My father was alive until after The Mask had come out, and he knew I was headed in that direction, you know, that things, really good things were happening. So he saw it, which was amazing, because he really was the inspiration and the one that pushed me to it.
But your mom, when she said, what happens if you don't make it, have you ever thought about what she would think if you were to walk up to her and wave that $20 million check in front of her face?
I don't think she'd be able to conceive of it. It's a wild concept for anybody, but I deserve it.
We told you about that $10 million check Carrey wrote to himself back when he barely had a dime. It symbolized his determination to succeed. It also became a symbol of where that determination came from, at least in part, having to support his own parents since he was a teenager. As Carrey said, his father lived long enough to see his son make it big. When he died, Jim Carrey slipped that $10 million check into his father's casket. When we come back, the man behind the mask and more.
I will help you solve the greatest riddle of all. Who is Batman?
This is double-pane soundproof glass. There's no way that neighbor could have heard Pedactor scream on the way down with that door shut. The scream she heard came from inside this apartment before he was thrown over the balcony, and the murderer closed the door before he left. Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah! Can you feel that, buddy? Huh? 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 I have exorcised the demons.
Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. The film came out in 1994, made millions, and made Carrey a bankable star, taking him far beyond his television role in the controversial hit series In Living Color. Later in 1994 came Carrey's next hit, The Mask.
It's party time!
Fresh on the heels of his huge comedy hit Ace Ventura Pet Detective, funny man Jim Carrey dons a new look in The Mask. This time, he's nice guy Stanley Ipkiss.
Stanley, you are the nicest guy.
His dog obeys him.
Give him to me. Drop it.
But few people respect him.
Ipkiss.
You know, Mrs. Penman.
What? Nothing. Well, that's what you are, Ipkiss. I mean nothing.
But Stanley goes from zero to hero when he discovers a magic mask and literally puts on a new face.
Smoking!
Here we go. Action, Jim. They call me Cuban Pete.
Under the guidance of director Chuck Russell, The Mask gives new dimensions to Carrey's wildly animated face. The result is a dazzling mix of classic cartoons and 90s technology.
The Jekyll and Hyde aspect of the story got my attention. You know, when Chuck said, explained the plot to me, I went, this is Jekyll and Hyde, man. I've always wanted to do something like that, you know. And then when he said, we want to turn you into a Tex Avery cartoon, I said, welcome to my nightmare. Whoa. I just danced out of there.
Somebody stop me!
But perhaps the biggest stars of The Mask are the folks behind the scenes, the ones who brought the mask to life with the help of some computer magic. While While computers are renowned for performing a task in seconds, special effects like these can take weeks to complete.
The thing that I'm keeping in the back of my mind the whole time is that it's something different, and it's something people haven't seen before. And for that, I'll like pull my, lungs out through my ass. I will go a long way if I think I'm doing something different.
Industry observers predict Carrey will indeed go a long way, but the face behind the mask refuses to succumb to his rave reviews. He explained how he handled the latest magazine article, which dubbed him the summer's hottest property in Hollywood.
I just took it into the bathroom immediately, and it's an odd reaction, I know, but it's the only way I can keep my feet on the ground.
I look really good out of focus, kind of a Vaseline lens type of thing.
You have become an overnight success from Pet Detective. How does it feel? I understand you command $7 million a film now. Is that true?
Well, let's not get into that on the street corner. It's New York, you know. You can't flash those numbers around.
Has stardom gone to your head?
Of course. I'm Francis Farmer. You'll see me 6 months from now. I'll be like, hi. How are you? Good.
You love me. You really love me.
From The Mask to Dumb and Dumber with Jim Carrey, when Time and Again continues. 1994 really was Jim Carrey's breakout year. That February saw the release of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. In July came The Mask. And that December, his third hit in a row, Dumb and Dumber, co-starring Jeff Daniels.
Oh, geez, look at the butt on that.
Yeah, he must work out.
Now, all of this stupidity was not scheduled to be uncovered until next year. But after the preview trailer of Dumb and Dumber began generating a reaction described as gangbusters, at least according to the releasing company, the Jim Carrey Jeff Daniels movie was moved into a holiday season release. It is aimed at a young male audience. Emphasis on young. Jim Carrey, fresh from box office triumphs in Ace Ventura and The Mask, explains the target of his latest venture.
Well, I guess it's pretty young, but it's...
Young and male, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Anybody who likes something that's absolutely careless, so I never know. I'm not a marketing person. I can never tell what's going to happen with that. They tell me I have a target audience, but then I meet people with gray hair who say, I loved your movie, so who knows?
The title could have been Dumb and Tasteless, because in addition to what we can show you, there are other gags built around flatulence, belching, saliva, bird decapitation, blind children, urine, and laxatives.
Now, there are some reviewers who are going to look at this film and say, loaded literally with toilet humor. Literally. Well, how would you answer them?
Well, I'd say they're probably right, but I don't know. I went to the movie and I looked at it and I went, there were times when I was going, oh man, that's really over the edge, but I had at least 10 or 15 times when I was crying with laughter, not only me, but Jeff and everything. It was just, there was some hilariously funny stuff.
But are you the most objective person to look at the movie and...
No, probably not, but it doesn't matter. I had a good laugh.
It is a good laugh for other movies that put Carrey on the fast track to the $7 million he received for Dumb and Dumber. Laughs generated by Carrey and the special effects of The Mask.
Smokin'!
And before that, his breakthrough movie role in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Do not go in there. Woo!
The surprising success of which prompted me to ask...
A sequel to Ace Ventura in the works?
Yeah, that's happening. Yeah, we're going to Africa.
You're putting me on. Ace Ventura Goes to Africa.
You're darn right. He goes international, just like Bond. You know, Ace has always been like a total ego trip to me, so it's just a chance to kind of like poke fun at the leading man. Everything, you know, everything I do is cool.
Let me ask you about the project you're involved in right now, The Riddler.
Yeah.
For Batman. You're shooting currently.
Yeah.
What do you base your Riddler on? Where is he coming from? The look and...
Well, the look is, you know, basically, I can't really tell you that much about it. I'm sworn to secrecy. But I mean, the look is, I can just say it's really classic. It's interesting, and I've had to lose 20 pounds to get into the suit. So there's a lot of work has gone into this, but I mean, as far as the mental state of the Riddler, he's, you know, he's kind of a megalomaniac, and I just kind of built him from the ground up.
In the meantime, Jim Carrey takes the cap off his front tooth, gets a haircut that looks like a bowl was used, and can be found on the big screen in Dumb and Dumber.
Were you responsible for the haircut in Dumb?
Yeah. Again, just basically, you know, self-abuse.
Well, between the haircut and the tooth...
I got there, didn't I?
You did. Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
That was 1994. When we come back, Jim Carrey follows the success of Dumb and Dumber with a turn as the Riddler in Batman Forever, a sequel to Ace Ventura, a rare misstep with the cable guy, and a return to form with Liar Liar. The Truman Show.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
And Man on the Moon with Carrey as Andy Kaufman. All that and more when Time and Again continues.
I would like to take everybody in this entire audience out for milk and cookies. What's outside? Everybody, follow
me. Welcome back to Time and Again. Jim Carrey didn't get to the top of the Hollywood food chain by doing Shakespeare. His success was built on the kind of dumb, tasteless, funny movies that drive teenage boys crazy. But with films like Man on the Moon and The Truman Show, Carrey clearly has set his sights on something bigger. He got his start in the 80s as a stand-up comic, picking up bit parts in movies along the way. In 1990, he landed a role on TV's In Living Color, becoming widely known as the white guy in a largely black cast. During that show's second season, NBC's Bob Costas asked Carrey to look back.